So Michael Bloomberg, the billionaire who's now running for president, he just announced that he's going to be spending $30 million on ads, on political ads. I mean, this is mind-boggling, okay? No one has ever spent that much money in a Democratic primary, okay? This is more of a general election level of spending. With this buyout that he just did, he has spent more money than all of the other candidates in the Democratic primary combined, okay? We're talking about TV ads, right? He spent more than all of them combined. Look at that. Michael Bloomberg, $30 million, okay? Look at the other candidates. They don't even come close. He's dwarfed them. Bernie Sanders, $500,000. I mean, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. Okay? Let me put that into perspective for you. Do you know what $30 million is? That's more money than Bernie Sanders raised in the third quarter. Remember, he raised like $25 million? He was the number one, okay, in that quarter. And well, he's always the number one in every quarter. But in that quarter, Bernie Sanders raised the most money, and it was $25 million before expenses. This guy just dropped more money than that on ads. I mean, what do you say about that? Is that not corrupt? Is that not a gaming of the system? I think that's corrupt. I think that's pretty messed up, you know? And this is emblematic of the problem that Bernie Sanders is talking about with billionaires buying the election. I mean, you have two ways that this works, right? One way is that they don't get into the race. You don't see their faces. They do this from behind the scenes. Dark money, right? They buy politicians. They get lobbyists to push for legislation that benefits their businesses and corruption. This is how they do. Or, as we're seeing in this election, they're just going for it. Well, actually, the last election too, Donald Trump himself, right? But now we're seeing it, Tom Steyer, Michael Bloomberg. I mean, these rich people, even Andrew Yang, right? Yang Gang are going to go furious now. How dare you compare him? Look, he's another rich entrepreneur who's jumping into the race, who thinks he can buy his way. But let's leave Yang alone. Let's just focus on Bloomberg. This is really unprecedented. $30 million, man. Come on. I need to get me a piece of cardboard like Ed Leverett. Come on, son. That's too much, man. And you know what's crazy? This guy hasn't even, I don't think he even announced that he's running for president. He just filed with the FEC that he's running, but he didn't even announce. He didn't even register for any of the polls. He doesn't give a crap. You know how all the other candidates are battling so hard to make sure that they get 4% in the polls so they can appear on the debates with the DNC? Right? This guy doesn't even care. He doesn't even want to be in the debate stage. He don't give a crap. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to buy influence. I'm going to brainwash people with some ads. I'll brainwash them into voting for me because I don't want to get on a debate stage and make a compelling argument. I don't even know what this guy's running on. I don't know a single policy that this guy is running on. Why are you here? Why are you here? And same question to Tom Steyer, by the way. This is really crazy. And by the way, you know what's really funny? This guy has basically given up on the first 4 states in the Democratic primary. So Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, and South Carolina. He doesn't care. He's not even pushing ads there. He's only focusing on the states that come afterwards. Okay? I don't understand this election strategy. It really is quite unique. So he doesn't want to go on the debate stage. He doesn't even care about winning the first 4 states in the primary. And he hasn't even announced that he's running for president, yet he is running for president. I mean, this is really messed up. Now, if you guys have been paying attention to what's been happening in the UK, all right, not just this time, but always, what usually happens is that the BBC, ITV, whatever channel is doing debates, okay, they will get each candidate a fair amount of time to speak. And they won't run that many ads, okay? The ITV debates that were on like a few days ago, which I did a few videos about them, I think they cut for ads once, okay? And I'm not saying that the moderator is always fair. I don't think she was fair. I think she was very biased towards against Jeremy Corbyn. She cut him off a lot. But my point is that the candidates are getting some time to speak, And if you watch Question Time, which we're going to talk about in a bit, BBC Question Time, which was yesterday, they brought on each candidate separately. Okay? Separately. So you have Jeremy Corbyn on his own, Swanson on her own, Sturgeon on her own, Boris Johnson on his own. There's no fighting, and shouting and talking over each other and trying to get a soundbite. No. So they're giving somewhat ample time for the candidates to speak. And my point, what I'm trying to say is that this is a better way to do things, because you can't buy your way, out of that situation. If you have to come on and face voters and you have to talk for 30 minutes, no amount of money is going to help you, man. All right? You need to face the voters, you need to face the cameras, and you need to talk and convince people, right? Not to mention, corporations have they have their influence in the UK, but the election laws in the UK, when it comes to giving people enough time and giving candidates enough time to speak on television, are way better than they are in the US. They're not perfect, but they're much better. It's not like the debates that we're used to in the US, okay? It's quite different. So I think this is pretty messed up that this billionaire, Michael Bloomberg, is just buying his way into the election. I mean, we were saying that about Tom Steyer, but this is taking this to another level. Okay, and by the way, Bernie Sanders had something to say about this situation. Bernie Sanders said, "I'm disgusted by the idea that Michael Bloomberg or any other billionaire thinks they can circumvent the political process and spend tens of millions of dollars to buy our elections." There you go. I got nothing more to say.